come together right now over me.
For more than 3 decades, Paula Boggs, the irrepressible, the dynamic, the amazing Paula Boggs has been a vibrant force within the Johns Hopkins community.
For cross country, when you're racing for 35 other girls. And here at Hopkins, we have a pretty big team. And I think at any given moment in that race, that's what you're thinking about step after step, is that not only do you want to make a personal record for yourself on a course, but your teammates are relying on you. I was aware that there was an anonymous donor my freshman year that allowed us to get free shoes in the fall. And then after we won nationals, I think that's when she kind of revealed herself to us. Paula told us that she co-founded the women's cross country and track and field team here at Hopkins. And to think that, this is why we're here. It's because of her. New shoes is something that we just can't live without. After 300 to 400 miles, if you don't get new shoes, you get injured. Paula also donated a good amount of money to have our locker room renovated. And I think it's been an absolutely incredible contribution to our team to have a space where we can really, change from our schoolwork and homework and really get into the mode of running. Paula is her true own person. And if any runner on our team went up and tried to talk to her and had any questions, she would just be right there right away. So she's the epitome of what I think a lot of us strive to be.
I'm a comparatist by training, and I work in African American and German literature. I'm particularly interested in Kafka and jazz reception in Germany between the wars. Some people might see it as an odd combination, but I see a much stronger dialectic between the two. One in which European modernism becomes absolutely unthinkable without the African influence. At Hopkins, the intellectual climate is such that what is really demanded is that originality in thought. Quite simply, a homogeneous environment eventually will stagnate. And currently, we don't have enough faculty of color at Hopkins because it is extremely difficult for Hopkins, or really any university, to compete for faculty of color simply because of the numbers involved. And we are so highly sought after, and the Boggs Faculty Recruitment Fund will help us address that matter, helping us to recruit with extremely competitive packages, the type of packages needed right now. Hopkins had been a dream job for me, and I'm so happy that this fund, the Boggs Faculty Recruitment Fund, helped to make that happen.
I was originally born in Ethiopia, a small town. I was really happy when I heard that I was going to be here, because I know that I would definitely use the opportunity to do something meaningful with my life. Our lab focuses on protein crystallography, and once you get in a three-dimensional structure of a complex protein, you can see binding interfaces, you can see catalytic sites, and how these proteins function. Proteins are important for any cellular process, but deregulation of these proteins that we are studying has been shown in cancer patients, and we hope we can help create therapeutic techniques to treat this cancer. Because it's every scientist's dream to come up with something that can be used to apply to patients.
Soil particles in the atmosphere interact with incoming and outgoing solar radiation, where it has an impact on the fluxes of energy and moisture. My research entails looking at dust aerosol in the climate system and how it impacts precipitation and temperature patterns. Specifically, I look at Northern Africa with a concentration over the Sahel and Western Sahel. The influence that dust has on the climate is largely unknown, and under a changing climate, we don't know if these relationships are necessarily linear, but we know it plays a very significant role in the climate because it has the capacity to really alter precipitation and temperature patterns. And I always want to tie it back to people, and if you're able to accurately predict how much rainfall a certain area is going to have over the next year or 5 years. It's very influential and very important to people who rely on precipitation for their way of life. When I received the Nathaniel Boggs Jr. PhD Memorial Fellowship, it really took my ability to support my research and took it a step further.
It was really exciting because I kind of needed that at that moment, and I can tell you this has been helping a lot.
And the fact that Paula started this fellowship to continue the legacy of her father, who she said received one of the first PhDs from Howard University in zoology, I think that's really powerful. So we have big shoes to fill in terms of continuing the legacy.
3 years ago, I started teaching a class about gospel music in Baltimore. I bring in gospel musicians from all over Baltimore. We visit the churches on Sunday mornings and learn about their tradition from the practitioners. It's a wonderful way for Peabody and Johns Hopkins to connect with the community in Baltimore and to interact with some really fantastic musicians that most Peabody musicians otherwise might not meet. I met Paula Boggs when we were working together to hire a new dean for Peabody. But Paul and I hit it off right away, and we have a lot in common, and we share many interests. She herself is a musician and has a real career as a singer and songwriter. And she seems to really want to change things. She wants to use her donations to affect change, and in a positive way. She was kind enough to make a donation to my gospel class, and we were able to offer a very big showcase at Friedberg Hall, a big concert event, which was spectacular. It made what was otherwise a kind of private relationship between my 10 to 15 students and various churches all over Baltimore into a public relationship, and to actually show the entire Peabody community what those relationships are like and can be like, and how amazing the musicians are, and how what a wonderful kind of synergy we can create with gospel music and classical music. It was certainly the loudest concert that's ever taken place in Friedberg Hall.
Paula, you and I have been friends for almost 35 years. Do you remember from Spring Fair? And you have been just a remarkable example in terms of your leadership and your spirit. Thanks again for everything you've done for our university.
Thank you, Paula, for everything that you've done for us and for me. Words cannot express how much gratitude we feel.
What you're doing is extremely important, and it has helped me more than I can tell you.
Thank you, Paula, for enabling me to teach this class and for enabling my students to interact with some of Baltimore's best musicians. I think that you've really helped improve our institution, and I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for making it possible for me to be here.
Paula, it's really meant a lot to me for you to support my work, and I just want to thank you so much.
On behalf of all your friends at Johns Hopkins University, and from me personally, we want to thank you, Paula, for all the things you've done for our university. You have truly made an extraordinary impact on the life of this institution.